that's at the end of this whole video, I'll insert the clip of the proposal, because I think it's very special.
It was very special.
Welcome back to my channel. So today I have my husband with me, and we are going to be talking about how we met, so our love story. When I was 18, my dad asked me if I'd be interested in going for coffee with somebody that was, someone in our church, their cousin. And I said no, because I was dating somebody. Your turn.
That was quite a while ago. Yeah, later on, my cousin told me about this girl that apparently had moved away and come back. That she was back into church, or the church that they were going to, and then we were supposed to...
I'll cut him off there. This is when I moved back from southern Alberta. Go ahead.
Yes, and then, they got her number and got it to me, and then I texted this girl, whoever she was, this Jolene, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm seeing somebody right now." So I said, "Okay, whatever. Unless I find the right person, I'm not in a hurry to find somebody." And then what was it? A week later?
Roughly a week and a half. Yeah, it was the next weekend.
Yeah, and then she's like, so it's not really working out with this other guy, but if you'd still be interested, I'd go for coffee with you. And from there it just kept on. I think we texted for like a week, and then we started talking on the phone, really nervous, or Jolene was really nervous for our first time talking on the phone. I wasn't so bad, but I don't think I was. Did I seem nervous?
No, I was too nervous to even think about it that much.
I don't think I was that nervous talking on the phone. Yeah, I remember talking for the first time and found out there's so much that we have in common in our backgrounds and our lives, and then it wasn't very long after.
We started texting the middle of November, and then we called a week later. So it was about 3 weeks after our first phone call.
And then, we had our first date. We went out to the pizza place there, and I got way too hot of wings, according to Jolene, but I like really spicy food, so it wasn't really that big of a deal, but she figured I was pretty crazy for getting out on a first date. Yeah, we had a good time.
Now, from my point of view, so I had just started dating this guy locally. He was my sister's neighbor. I figured I was set. Anyway, we dated for about a week, and then the evening I was going to meet his parents for the first time. I was just finishing off at work, and I get this text from this guy, and it says, "Hey, this is Brent. Would you be interested in going for coffee with me next time I'm in town?" And I'm like, I don't think I answered him right away. I went home first and talked to my dad, and then I went to meet this guy's family. And then when I came home, that's when I texted him back and said sorry, but I was kind of seeing somebody. The following weekend, I had gone on a double date with this guy and my sister and her boyfriend, and something just felt off. Like, there is nothing wrong with this guy, but I couldn't stop thinking about the guy who had texted me that the weekend prior to that. And I don't even know why. I kept picturing my life living where I live now and just moving away from that is the last thing I wanted to do. I had done that already. I was good. I wanted to stay with my family. But I could not get my mind off this guy that I didn't even know him. So anyway, I broke it off with this guy, and then I texted Brent back.
You knew about me.
Well, I knew who you were, but I didn't know you. I didn't even know if you were a Christian. But I still couldn't get my mind off of him either way. Anyway, so we started texting, and about a week later, when we had our first phone call, We had it planned. It was Saturday evening. My family was all going to be gone that evening, so I had the house to myself. And Brent and I were going to talk on the phone for the first time, and I was eager for my family to leave. And then my grandma texts me and asks if I come over for the evening and watch some movies with her. I was torn because I wanted to go hang out with my grandma, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk on the phone with Brent. So I asked Brent what to do, and he said I should go hang out with my grandma. So I did. I went to hang out with grandma, and then later that evening I got home. My family wasn't home yet, and then we talked on the phone for the first time. And like Brent said, I was nervous. I couldn't even tell if Brent was or not, but it was like first date nervous, like first time meeting nervous. But I knew after our first phone call that I liked this guy actually a lot. Yeah, but in between that, I knew, like, I had made a promise to my family and to God that I wasn't going to just date for fun anymore. The next guy I was going to date was going to be the guy I was going to marry, and he had to have the same standards as me when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to divorce and remarriage, when it comes to parenting our children, everything. Like, we had to have the same standards, and I had always compromised in my other relationships, and I wasn't going to do that again. So the one phone call that we had, I knew I had to bring those three things up with him.
I think that was our first phone call.
No, it was about our second or third.
Did I mention that?
Yeah.
I think it was second. Like, it wasn't very long.
No. So anyway, I knew I had to bring it up to him, because if he didn't have the same standards as me, then I had to cut it off. I couldn't be in a relationship with somebody where I was going to have to compromise again. So we're on the phone, and I'm nervous to bring it up. And lo and behold, Brent brings it up first.
Yes, I did. I only had dated for a little while before, and for a couple of really short dating periods, and it's just I wanted to bring it up what my stands were, and it just didn't work out because the girls didn't have the same stands as me. So same with this one. I'm not gonna get into a relationship and hurt both parties. So just figure out whether this is gonna be compatible, whether it'll work or not, and yeah. I think it was the second phone call then, and we talked about those things, and then it ended up being that we have the same beliefs and same doctrinal stands on things.
Yeah. So after that phone call, we hung up, and I'm like, I'm gonna marry this guy. Never met him, but I'm gonna marry this guy because everything about him, we have the same stands. We both agree that we don't drink. Divorce and remarriage is never an option. Like, we both had the same biblical standards, and this was the first time I had met somebody with these biblical standards that I had an interest in. Anyway, December 1st rolls around, and I had to work the day that Brent came to town. So that morning I went to work, and I was beyond nervous and anxious, like, all day. My coworkers, they knew I was going on a date, but they didn't know it was somebody new, I guess. But anyway, after work, I rush home before he has a chance to show up at Mom and Dad's, run upstairs, change my clothes, and I think I fixed up my makeup and my hair, and he shows up. And I'm gonna say, I'm not a short person. I'm probably
5'9", 5'8".
Something like that. And I'm also not very slim. But I may have sent Brent a selfie that made myself look shorter and smaller.
I think the biggest part was shorter. I thought you were gonna be like come up to my neck maybe, and I was like, oh, she is a lot taller than what I thought from the picture you sent.
Well, to be fair, I thought he was going to be a lot taller. We're about the same height. He's like 1 inch taller than me.
About 1 inch taller than you.
So not much of a difference unless you're looking really close. Anyway, he walks in like, oh, well, he's shorter than what I thought, whatever. And I brushed it off. But I think you had the same thoughts instantly when you saw me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, same sort of thing. It's like, well, I got to get to know who she is, whether it's, I don't know, that's way more important than looks. But I was still attracted to you, obviously.
Yeah, and I was still attracted to you. Anyway, we go on our first date. We go to the pizza place, and I'm so beyond nervous that I don't even know what to order. I have my favorite meal there at Pizza Place, but I was so nervous that when it was time to order, I'm like, cheese pizza. I just ordered a 4 cheese, 1 slice of pizza. That's it. That's all I got. And he orders the suicide wings. Like, that's daring for a first date. Anyway, we eat.
I think you told me to. Let's get some spicy wings. Okay. What's the spiciest thing here? Oh, suicide wings. Oh, let's get those.
No, I didn't have any. Because I've suffered through those before. And for me, like, I like spicy food, but he likes a whole new level of spicy food. I had 1 wing, my entire meal is ruined. Doesn't matter what I'm eating. Anyway, after dinner, we grabbed drinks and then we cruised town.
Min minus 40.
Wasn't that cold?
Basically, it was minus 30
Northern Alberta
something.
gets cold in December.
It was minus 30 something.
So we're cruising town with our warm drinks and we talk. Well, the thing is, we were long distance, so we had talked lots already prior to our first date, and we talked our entire date. Cruising town. We just talked and talked. I don't even think there was music playing.
I don't think there was either. We just did a loop around town and just talked,
Yeah, it was fun. So we ended up going back to my parents' place. Mom and Dad and my younger brother were there, and they were cutting out snowflakes to tape on the windows for Christmas.
Out of paper.
Out of paper. And we joined in, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But fast forward from there, should actually also throw in, this cookie's a little faster than what I thought he was going to be. I think it was our 3rd date. We hadn't even, because he was only in town Friday, Saturday, so he left Monday morning. Sunday evening, he kisses me. Wasn't expecting it, but in secret I was hoping he was going to, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I didn't want to leave and go home without that and then wait however long to see you again. So and I liked you,
Even after that weekend, I just knew, well, this is the guy I'm going to marry. But Sunday evening when we said goodbye, I bawled my eyes out. Monday morning when I went to work, I bawled my eyes out. And while he was driving home that day, we were on the phone that evening, and he suggested, well, why don't you come visit my family for Christmas? And I'm like, my parents aren't going to let me do that.
It's about halfway between our house here and her parents' house. So it's like right in the middle that we could meet, and then after that, then we could go to her families to have the rest of Christmas or New Year's. So yeah, it was gonna work out pretty good that way.
And we hung up, and I went upstairs right away. I was like, Mom, Brent had this fantastic idea. I don't know if you're gonna say yes, but please think about it. So I told her the idea, and she said, as long as you're back for our family Christmas on the 26th. I'm like, oh, are you serious? Like, this could possibly be a thing? So I called Brent back instantly and tell him. And that Christmas, my sister and her fiance, her fiance at the time, they dropped me off with Brent because he had family in that area too. So they dropped me off with Brent, and I spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the day before Christmas Eve, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th with Brent's family. And then the 25th, we drove back to my family's place and spent the holidays there, and then he left New Year's Day. So we had a lot of time together. And on Boxing Day, in the evening, you want to tell them what you told me?
Was it Boxing Day?
It was Boxing Day.
No, it wasn't. It was a couple days after.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, because I remember very clearly. It was Boxing Day.
Clearly, huh?
Very clearly.
I don't remember that clearly. I remember what I said. That's the first time I told you I loved you.
Yes, it was. And I wanted to tell him I loved him like 4 days before that. But I figured, I shouldn't be the first one. I shouldn't be so quick. So I waited. But earlier that day, we were supposed to have my entire family come over for brunch. And the power had gone out. And it was minus 40 Celsius with a wind chill that morning. The house was freezing. We were supposed to cook brunch. We were supposed to have Christmas together, and there was no power. He shows up at my parents' barefoot.
Well, not barefoot. I had shoes on.
Shoot, but his shoes came off and there was no socks to be seen.
I can't stand wearing socks. No pun intended. I don't know why, but if I'm wearing shoes, I really like socks. But if I'm inside and I take my shoes off, then I have to take my socks off. It's like wearing a jacket inside. It's just I haven't settled in until I've taken off my socks.
Which is kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, that evening he told me he loved me, so that was fantastic. What else? What happened? Okay, he left New Year's Day. I dropped him off. Yeah, we switched vehicles. Because if he was going to be doing a lot of traveling back and forth from where he lives to where I live, which is a 12-hour drive, you know, he had a pickup, a big pickup, and I have a small car. It's a lot easier or cheaper to drive the car back and forth than the pickup. So we switched vehicles. He took my car back and I kept his truck. Because the furthest I drove was 5 minutes to where I worked and back home.
How nervous were you for me to take your car?
Not as nervous as I was to drive your truck.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was a little more nervous for you driving my truck because I had no idea
I knew
you'd be. I wasn't. I mean, I don't really treasure my truck that much, but
I was terrified
to try
to hit something because it's really tall and wide, and I was used to my car. Like, I'd driven trucks before, but not this tall. Anyway, so New Year's Day, I basically spent the entire day in tears, and I have a friend, her boyfriend, they have a long distance relationship as well, and so that afternoon she came and spent the day with me to kind of keep me company. So that was nice, and I really appreciated it. Fast forward, February, my family.
End of January.
End of January? Oh! I was gonna completely skip that part.
So that part, you even have video of.
I could actually even insert that clip in here. I might just do that. Anyway, end of January comes, and I get mad at him. He tells me he has a hockey game Friday night. He tells me this Thursday. Well, Friday night is...
I think you're going there's a little bit that you want to go before this. So,
okay.
Jolene had to talk to me every day. She just had to talk to me every evening. So I really didn't have a chance. We had talked about it that Christmas, about getting married already. Like,
we knew we were going to.
We knew we were going to, so we're just...
And I wanted to be surprised.
She told me she wanted to be surprised in that, and so... But if she talked to me every evening, there was no way for me to go get a ring. So... one of those days, I don't know which days it was, but one day in January, on a weekend, I had to have a different reason to go to the city to grab a ring, and so I wanted cables for my speakers that I have. So I'm gonna go get these cables for these speakers, which I was. So that wasn't a lie. But she's calling me. She called me when I was at the jewelry store picking out a ring. She called me, so I had to walk around and to do other stuff. And by the time she was talking to me for probably 45 minutes or something like that, or half an hour. It was a long time. And then finally, I could go and get a ring. I bought a ring and did all that, and then I called her. I think I even called her after that because she had to talk to me. And then...
Well, let me throw in here. It was Saturday. I was home alone. I was bored. We usually talked on the phone on Saturdays. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then then later on, at the end of the month, I had a plan. I was gonna surprise Jolene, go to her hometown. She was supposed to have no idea, but it is a 12-hour drive, and I could split it up by going to my sister and brother-in-law's and stay there the night, and that way I could be there early in the morning to surprise her the next morning.
Thursday, he tells me he has to play hockey Friday night, and I was a little perturbed because Friday night is usually when we talked on the phone. Like, before we started dating, he did play hockey Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but there were some Fridays where he just didn't go and play hockey and he talked on the phone with me instead. So that's what I was expecting to happen this Friday. I was expecting to talk on the phone with him. And he says, well, I've got an actual, like a real hockey game. Like, it's not just guys playing hockey, it's actually a real game. So he had to go. So I was a little frustrated. And Friday morning, I go downstairs while I'm getting ready for work, I complained to my mom that Brent's playing hockey Friday night. He doesn't have time to talk to me on the phone. Mom's like, well, just let him play hockey. Okay.
That's because I already asked Jolene's dad if I could marry her. And
my entire family knew about this.
the whole family knew about it, yeah, at that point.
Anyway, that shocked me because my mom is not a huge sport person. So that did surprise me. That should have been a clue. But she said, let's just let him play hockey. Fine. So I go to work, I work, and I tend to complain. So I grumbled to my coworkers and they found it hilarious. And then at the end of the day, I think one of my coworkers said, have a good weekend. And I said, yeah, we'll see. Don't miss Brent too much or something. She said something along those lines or yeah. So my sister invited me and all my siblings over to her and her husband's house to have pizza night and watch a movie because they all knew Brent was driving. So I go there and we're having dinner and then Brent calls me and he says, Kate, he's got to go to his game. And literally he texts me during each intermission.
Yeah, well, there's a part. For one, we had location sharing on our phone, so I was always curious that she would check my location. So that is, I think I turned it off so she wouldn't notice. But there's also a part of the drive, like a 2-hour part that I don't have cell phone service. So I tried to like time my times that I would text when I would actually be in a dressing room during intermissions or something like that. And anyways, yeah, then I was getting close to my sister's house and it was getting quite late and tell Jolene, well, I gotta go shower and then I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Let me throw in here. I had complete plans on staying up late and talking on the phone with him.
Well, that was the part I didn't know. She said, yeah, no, that's okay, and that yeah, I'll probably just go to bed. Okay, so I'm driving, and I said, okay, I just got out of the shower. Sorry, I'm too tired to talk on the phone. I'll just call you tomorrow morning because I was just gonna call once I started driving again because I had told her that I was. Actually, I didn't even tell you I was going to Prince George that day.
No, that Friday you said you were going into Prince George Saturday morning to do some shopping. And I asked, what for?
No, that was on the drive after I had left my sister's house.
Doesn't matter.
But what happened was I text her that and she goes, or just before that she goes, I just drank a bunch of green tea so I can be awake and then we can talk after. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like pull over, hope that no vehicles go by because it's gonna give it all away. And then I also, because we usually FaceTimed, so how am I gonna? She's gonna want to FaceTime and I can't FaceTime in my vehicle. So yeah, I was just like, I think I just told her, no, sorry, I'm really sorry. I just want to go to bed. That's all. And I was like, oh, she's gonna be upset.
Yeah, I was. I thought he was breaking up with me. That was exactly where my mind was. I said, well, this relationship's over. He doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. He'd rather play hockey than talk on the phone with me. And now that I've drank a caffeinated beverage so I could stay up and talk to him, he wants to go to sleep. I was totally expecting a breakup in the morning. Something else that happened that evening that had really ticked me off the next morning. So the next morning he calls me while he's driving to the city.
Well, that's what happened. Is I called you and you just said, are you driving? What are you doing? I said, and I thought it was a perfect cover-up because she always had to talk to me. How was I supposed to get her this wedding ring? So that's what I did. I was like, oh, it's a good opportunity. I'm like, well, maybe I'm heading into Prince George. You remember how if you keep calling me all this time, how am I supposed to ever buy you stuff or surprise you to get engaged?
So I dropped it.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah. I think you even after the phone call, you told your mom, well, now I know what he's gonna do.
And my mom just smiles. So here's a funny story. After we hang up that morning, I go downstairs to have breakfast with my family, and as we sit down to eat, my dad prays before we eat, and the way he prayed, I think he said something along the lines like, whatever happens today, may we still remember you, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I do remember thinking, something special happening today? Like, maybe the rapture is going to happen. I don't know. I was so clueless. But his other cousin had texted me and asked if I want to go for a walk with her that day down to the walking trails. And it was minus 26 outside Celsius, and it was cold. I texted her that morning. I was like, do you still really want to go for a walk? It's cold. Well, we'll just get a warm drink after. It'll be much better. Okay. So she...
Yeah, what I had done is I had called her because I wanted our engagement on film. I thought it'd be kind of neat. And the plan was to go just meet on this trail. And I was just going to surprise her, turn around and surprise her, like, what are you doing here? And then go down on one knee and propose. And she had said, well, this is going to be, it's really cold here. I'm not sure if she's going to want to go for a walk. I'm like, oh.
I didn't. It was cold.
Yeah. So I was like, well, we'll try it here. I mean, if it doesn't work out, We'll figure out something. But she said yes, so going for a walk. So I went to my cousin's house. I got a different jacket, a different toque, and everything. The only thing I was wearing, I guess, would be my pants and shoes that you might recognize. But I was walking down the trail with my back turned to them, so they were about to pass me walking down the trail.
So we get to the trail and we get out of the vehicle and we start walking, and the hoarfrost of the trees was absolutely beautiful, and was her excuse for going for a walk, because it was time to take pictures, because it was just beautiful. So we get to this walking trail. I remember walking, like this guy walking really slowly in front of us. I was like, his shoes look familiar. And that's all I thought. And then we just kept walking. I had my camera out. I was going to take pictures.
And then I turned around. And then she was... I didn't even give her time to really process it a whole lot. And then I knelt down and proposed. And I remember on the whole drive, I was just thinking, how should I propose? How should I say it? And I think most guys who propose will understand there's a little bit of nerves that when it comes up to the actual moment. So I just didn't even know I don't even remember what I said, because anyways, I proposed, and by the end we were both kneeling
because I had lost a feeling in the neck. So I was just like, he's here lying to me. And I fell
He's not breaking up with me.
I fell to my knees. No, the exact opposite.
And yeah.
And then when he opened that box,
yeah.
I don't know if you can see this, but I will try. Look at that gem. Needless to say, I was sold.
And my mom told me that too. I showed my mom the ring, and if she was gonna say no, she's not going to after she sees that ring. So I figured I picked the right one.
So that was very special. I forgave him for lying to me. I forgave him for not talking on the phone with me.
Yeah.
And for playing hockey.
Playing hockey. I never played hockey.
And for going to bed after I had a caffeinated tea.
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward. Like, he got there Saturday morning and he left Monday morning. We had one day together. One.
Yeah. That was a very tired day, and I had to head back to work because, yeah.
So, fast forward, February, my family goes down to where he lives to visit, and we do some wedding shopping, and I don't know, basically came here for the first time and saw the town. We were here for a weekend, and then I didn't see you again until April, my sister's wedding.
Yeah.
He came down for my sister's wedding.
I played guitar in
her wedding.
Their wedding. And
then after that, I was done work for good that week, because then it was a month until my wedding. So he was down for
a month and a half till mine.
Ow?
No, just kidding. You just said yours, so it's just
ours. Sorry. Anyway, I was done with work, and the plan was I was going to be done work that Friday. My sister got married on Sunday, and then Monday we were going to head back here with a load of my stuff to start moving all my stuff here. But Monday morning, I get a phone call.
Oh yeah, I've never been that sick in my life. I had a stomach flu.
And it lasted how long?
Well, it was 3 days, or I was in bed. Yeah, for 2 days probably total. And that's when I finally got out of bed and started moving around. Yeah, I was really sick that one.
I was sad that he was sick, but yet kind of happy we weren't leaving the creek. Because some things were happening that week that quite frankly, I didn't want to miss. We were going to come back for the weekend because our church had something going on that we wanted to be at. But I was kind of glad we didn't leave. Because I really wasn't ready to...
I could tell. It was almost like... Yeah.
I was sad he was sick, but I was happy we were staying. But anyway, he left the following weekend. Sunday after church he left. And then before our wedding, I moved down here with my mom and my grandma bring me down. And then that week was busy. And then May 19th, 2018, we tied them out.
Yeah.
And then went to Tofino.
Yeah.
Pacific Sands. Highly recommend you go there.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Our wedding day was very bittersweet because I was thrilled that I was finally getting married, my childhood dream. But I was depressed because now I had gotten super close with my family after moving back from southern Alberta and was leaving again. And I hadn't have kids yet, obviously, but my sister's kids were my pride and joy. And I figured I couldn't leave them again. There were a few times during our engagement where I thought we were going to break up because I was super attached to my sister's kids. And I had to realize that they weren't mine. And that they would live if I wasn't there. And that I would live without them here. No.
And you have your kids of your own.
And I do. You guys have seen Connor.
Yeah. He's a blast.
He's the best child in the world. Now, that's coming from a very unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is our love story.
That is our love story.
It started...
That's the start of our love story. It's still going.
Yeah, today was a good day to do this because we just got back from our anniversary trip. We've been married for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And we have an 11-month-old baby.
Okay.
We would like another child.
We would, absolutely. We have another one of those, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching this if you made it this far. And please give this video a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. But thank you for watching. Bye, guys. How are you?
Jolene, I've practiced I've practiced in my head 100 times and I still don't know what to say. Jolene, you're beautiful inside and out. And I believe I have no doubt this is what our hearts want to do. Jolene, will you marry me?
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is